Welcome to Escape This Podcast, a show that's a mix between tabletop role-playing and escape room puzzles. This is season 16. Every episode we have guests come on and play through an audio escape room that exists just in our collective minds, our imagination, and a PDF document. And this episode, we have two new players. First, internet creator Julian O'Shea. Hi, Julian.
Great to be here.
And you're playing alongside another new player, but we all expect that he's going to run the whole show. He's going to be so up to date. He knows what's going on. Welcome to the show. I've been instructed to say two-time disc golf champion, Rueben Berg. Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Rueben, I'm entrusting a lot of the success of this team to you because you're also a patron donor. You've been listening for a while, so you know the ins and outs of Escape This Podcast.
I would hope so, yeah.
Good.
Or you're just really generous.
Yeah, you just found a random podcast and went, oh, what a lovely name. Have some money from me, Rueben Berg. And then, Julian, we've done podcasts with you before. We've been on Lateral together, so we've already worked as a team.
That's right. Now, I don't remember who was picking up the weight there. I've got a feeling it was you, yeah.
It was probably Danny.
That's right.
It's smart.
This
freak.
makes sense.
Yeah.
That said, the first time that you appeared on Lateral, we were not there. We were just listening to that episode, and we did look at each other and go, I like that guy.
Yeah.
I think we should invite him onto our show.
And then you did, and then he turned up.
You were definitely on our guest
to our
list
plans.
as cool Aussie guy from Lateral for a while.
That's right. And the highlight being that we're in the same time zone, I imagine. That's one of the major features.
It's pretty sweet.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's easy. Julian, you have a whole bunch of videos about I want to just say Melbourne. Is that the easiest way to summarize it?
A lot of me standing in front of infrastructure, talking about design and cities and sustainability. A lot in my home city of Melbourne, Australia. Yeah, I'm very Melbourne-pilled. There's no doubt about that. I'm the propaganda wing of this city.
Wonderful. I'm very excited to see how the two of you work together. You've worked together on other projects before, I believe. So this is not the first time you've met each other.
That's right. We've done projects about design and cities and history, yeah.
Yeah, all sorts of cool stuff together.
Well, let's see how well that translates into escape room. So think of it as a team-building exercise. Now, this is an escape room show. Rueben, why don't we start with you? What is your escape room experience?
I have done a fair few escape rooms in my time. I think more than 40, I think I'm up to.
Not bad.
Nice.
The first one I did was the one in Flemington, the Flemington escape room many years ago now, which is, I believe at the time, the only one in Australia. So I just turned up at the back of someone's house and got locked in a room.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Which was a very bizarre experience, and then just was hooked from there and absolutely loved it. And it's been amazing to see the growth of escape rooms across Melbourne. And every time I travel interstate, I try different escape rooms, and then to see it evolve from someone's backyard to something like the Curium, which is just wild, and then podcasts about escape room. It's an amazing thing. And I've made a few escape rooms for the family as well, so that's always good.
Oh, fantastic!
Oh, lovely. Well, why do you know what, Danny? Do you want to take a break? Why don't you just run that one now?
I'm just going to get rid of some of the clues. I'm just going to go through and delete them.
Making it harder. And then, Julian, what about you? What is your escape room experience?
Well, I'm not as experienced as Rueben, but I reckon I was just as OG because I think I went to that first escape room. I had never heard of the concept before. Rock up at this guy's house and he takes you down the side to his granny flat where you kind of get let in. So, yeah. So in one sense, a lot of years, but not as many rooms.
I think I saw a TV special about that, introducing the concept of escape rooms to Australia before I'd ever done one.
Yeah, years before.
Remember that. Oh,
maybe.
Amazing.
Lovely. Well, so this is like an escape room, but it's slightly different because it's escape rooms in a sort of tabletop role-playing style.
The opposite of a granny flat.
So maybe in reverse order, Julian, what is your tabletop role-playing experience?
Oh, very little to none, my friend. Very little to none. Maybe I'm making my role-playing debut today.
Wonderful. It's just like a game of Lateral, except there's a story and that's it. That's the only difference.
Can my character be confused person at the end of a podcast call? Because if so, I'm going to nail this.
Almost exclusively.
And Ruben, what about you? Do you have any tabletop role-playing experience?
Pretty limited, but my sister and my son both love D&D, so they play that a fair bit, and I kind of get exposed on the periphery to that.
Well, this show is also escape rooms, but sort of like a game of disc golf. So I don't know if you have any disc golf experience.
Just a little bit of disc golf experience, yeah.
Perfect.
People are often aiming for low numbers by the end.
I guess. Maybe.
Quick times, low numbers.
Yeah, a low score. You want to get out quickly, just like
that's the best corollary I can make.
That doesn't work. Well, I think with all of that being said, we're probably good to get straight into a cool escape room. Danny, are you ready to go?
I think that's fair. First things first, though, the two of you, we are going to have to merge you into one character with the delicious sound effect.
You've been squished together into a single person. Rulian.
It hasn't been easy finding a hotel tonight. You hadn't planned on staying here, but turns out cars can and will break down at the most inopportune moment. All you need is one night to rest and recover, then you can patch up your bad engine in the morning and hit the road again to get back from your big interstate trip. But sometimes one night's accommodation doesn't come so easily, especially when it's the night after a massive evacuation order was given for a superstorm a couple of hours south of here. Everything in a 100-kilometer radius is packed and will be for days, if not weeks. Please, you beg the front desk clerk at the 5th place you've tried since this all began. Just one night, I'll take a janitor's closet, a pool chair, anything. The desk clerk, Leonard, bites his lip guiltily as he taps on his tablet over and over again. You know it's going to be a no. You've gone through this 4 times. The hand-wringing, the apologies, oh, if it was any other night. The storms in the area have been truly something else. Flash floods, wind ripping off roofs, roads cut off, electricity down, the whole lot. You feel terrible for all the people who have lost their homes and those who will lose them, and you know they need these hotel rooms. You do. But you have to get home by tomorrow midday, and that won't happen if you get no sleep. Leonard grimaces, and you prepare your best, gracefully accepting defeat face. Definitely just one night? Leonard asks. There's hope. Absolutely, you say, and you promise you'll check out early. But there must be something Leonard isn't telling you, because he looks nervous as he taps the tablet and then turns it off. Okay, he says. I can get you into room 221. It's not usually allowed, but if you swear you're just going to go in, go to bed, get up and leave, I can let it happen. So he takes you to room 221. He points out all the features of the room, nothing unexpected. And here is where, if you are the drawing type, you can draw a little map. But I also believe this is so standard hotel room, I would like to hear what you expect. So what I'm going to say to start off with is, you enter through a door on the north wall, close to the east corner. What do you think the layout of a room is if I tell you typical hotel room?
Double bed, 1 chair, ensuite bathroom,
Ooh.
kettle.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's it, I reckon.
So you walk basically into a very short quote-unquote hallway that almost immediately opens up to the room itself. But to your right, so towards the northwest, there is a bathroom, toilet, sink, and a combined shower bath. And of course, the eastern wall of this little hallway, to your left, has a sliding door cupboard. The main area of the room, it's not as big and fancy as a double, it's just a single bed, but a bed and side table against the west wall. A big window on the south wall. A TV mounted on the east wall with a tiny one-person dining table set underneath it. There's also another door built into the east wall, right down the bottom, and Leonard conspicuously fails to mention it. Hey, you ask, what's that, another cupboard? Does Leonard swallow before he answers? No, that's the adjoining door to room 223. It'll be locked, of course. Right. You'd almost forgotten that some places have connecting doors like that. You think you hear someone shuffling around in there? Well, you wouldn't want to bother them. You see Leonard off and look out into the corridor. Plenty of other doors out here, other room doors that look identical to yours, and also a special staff-only door right across the aisle from you. But there's one thing you don't see. A front door to room 223. That's weird. So your room is the only way in there? Huh. Well, you make yourself comfortable and get ready for bed. The shower isn't working, but you never told Leonard you wanted to shower, so you can't exactly blame him. You splash your face in the sink and head for bed. More shuffling sounds come from room 223. Okay. There's someone in there, but they can't get out of there. Okay, look. You promised you'd just be in and out, no questions asked. But come on, that raises some real questions. Is Leonard hiding someone or something in there? I mean, whatever it is can't be that bad, right? Oh, you can't take it. You're burning with curiosity. You can't just lie in this bed all night wondering. You really want to know. So that's your goal. Get into room 223 and find out what's going on in there.
And with that, I think you're free to start exploring the space.
All right. Julian, where should we go first as Rulian?
This is a small space. This is probably not going to take too long to get through it all. Why don't we start at the little single serve table under the TV?
As you very accurately predicted, we've got this dining table. Sitting on its surface, there's a single plate, knife and fork, kettle, single teacup, and one complimentary tea bag. None of it is particularly good quality.
Anything under the table?
Nothing under the table.
Now, what about while we're standing there? Let's have a look at the TV. Is there a remote? Do we chuck this on?
There is a remote for it. The TV, it's about as old as a wall-mounted TV can get. You are more than welcome to turn it on. You do so, and it takes you straight to a hotel help menu. You press channel up, and you get some crime procedural. You press channel up, and you're back at the hotel menu again. All right, so you've got a very limited selection for your very limited stay.
Interesting. All right. I have to do this. Can I check the door we walked in from?
As well you should. You took a good look at the outside of it when you came in. Nice, clean, the brassy numbers 221 attached at head height, and a regular key lock. You have the key, so that is not an issue. The inside of the door, even more plain. The only feature is a chain lock in case you want extra security.
While we're standing there, let's have a crack open of the cupboard to the immediate left as you walk in.
You slide the cupboard door open and you find two things inside. First, there's an ironing board with an iron on the floor beside it. And the second is a small safe with a number code lock.
Any indication of how many numbers?
There is not. It's the kind where you just press digits and then press. Do you press star or do you press hash? Which one do you press?
Star?
Hash?
Which
Danny,
one's at the
bottom right?
You've invented this safe. You can make it whatever you want.
Exciting. You press both.
Ooh.
You press a bunch of numbers and then star hash, and that's how it would open.
To confirm, this is currently locked, this safe.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Wouldn't that be... You never asked if the safe was locked?
I've done escape rooms like that.
I've been in hotels and it's a mixed bag, to be honest.
True.
All right, so that's it for the cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the bathroom then.
What in the bathroom would you like to look at? Like we said, it's got toilet, sink, and the bath shower.
Bath shower.
Exactly what you'd expect from this sort of standard thing, except for the notable fact that there is a total lack of water coming from the shower head when you spin the taps. This room, Leonard wasn't lying, it's not meant to be used, clearly.
That's also true of the sinks, is it?
The sink actually does have water, it actually works. So it's pretty small, perfunctorily functional, but it's got, two little taps, soap, unflattering mirror. The water does work here.
Does the mirror open? Is it like a bathroom cabinet?
It's not that fancy. Too basic.
Rightio. The toilet then. Do I want to inspect the toilet?
It's a hotel, so they've kept it a reasonable amount of clean. Doesn't look like it's gotten much use, notably. Ugh. Nothing too unusual about its design either, in fact. The only real feature, you suppose, about it is that it does have 2 flush buttons. You know, the left half that says full flush, 120. And then the right that says half flush, 60. You try to think. 120 and 60 what? Because it's not
Flush units.
Yeah, it's not liters per flush. Liters per day of flushes? You're not sure what these numbers are referring to.
Interesting. Before we leave the bathroom, can we close the door behind us and have a look at that door?
Makes sense. This door is the most boring door that you've ever seen.
Are you just trying to discourage me from looking behind doors
Yeah.
anymore? Or?
No, not
Absolutely
at all.
not. There are so many doors. This is a hotel. That one just happens to be boring.
Before we leave the bathroom, have a look around. Nothing on the roof, nothing on the floor, nothing
It's
under the sinks.
more than fair, but no, you are an incredibly good detective. You are missing nothing.
The realism of this is wild. This feels like
Yeah.
a dodgy hotel room. I am
So
in
far,
this moment.
there are no puzzles.
That's right.
It's just
It
a
feels
room.
accurate.
I could have made the puzzle. Yeah, you've got to get your dodgy shower going.
Yeah. Just to make sure, toilet does. If I give it a gentle flush, does it flush? If I hit the old 60 unknown button,
I was very intrigued to find out what a gentle flush entailed.
that's right.
But yes, it flushes.
That's good to know
It is.
for future use.
And there's no plugs of any sort?
Not that you can find, no. So a bath was off the cards in more than one way.
Disaster.
Ruben, what do you reckon? Let's go check out the other table next to the bed.
Side table, let's go for it.
There's nothing on the top of this side table. Not even a phone, which you really would have expected. Not even a lamp, which you would have expected even more. It does have a drawer, and when you open it, you find a thick, ring-bound tourist guide to the area. Nothing stands out about it, like no pages are bookmarked or anything. It's just got all the info that someone new to the area might want, and to your limited knowledge, it looks accurate.
So if we had something specific to look for, we could perhaps look there.
One might
Yeah.
think that.
Let's have a look at the bed then. We jump on top of the bed and bounce up and down.
It's shockingly hard as you do so. Perhaps not shockingly. It's pretty bare bones. It's a king single floral bedspread, but as you jump, you notice that it is firm enough that the little treat that has been left for you on the pillow doesn't even budge. It stays in place. Is it a chocolate? Why, no. This place goes hard right here because they have given you a neat little stack of 6 chocolates.
Ooh.
Some of them are
Sure.
dark, some are a mix of dark and white. Look, you won't be able to speak to the quality of them because this is, still hotel chocolate, but
Yes, for people at home, you can see this image in the show notes, but Ruben is going to describe it to you. He'll paint a picture with his words.
Yeah, so we've got 6 chocolates, all kind of in a stack. Some of them have dark on one side and white on the other. So the top 2 have dark on one side, white on the other. And then the third one down is 100% dark. The next one is dark on one side, white on the other. Then we go 100% dark. And the final one is half dark, half white again. Interesting.
Hmm.
So we have 2 different types of chocolates. They're dark white and 100% dark. And it's, mix, dark, mix. Okay.
6. Okay.
6 of them. Just number 6 floating in our head. We had a 60 and we got, 120 for our toilet. Nothing else on the bed?
that's all you get for the bed.
What about under our bed, please?
Ugh, you aren't happy about this, but thankfully, it's at least been vacuumed under here. There's nothing too horrifying, but there's also nothing interesting.
All right. Maybe we'll take a look at the window next.
The window itself is large, clean enough, and it's got an unbeatable view of a section of the hotel's car park. It's separate from the main parking area. You suspect it's the staff-only area. It's a reasonable number of cars, none of them particularly fancy. The area is quite well lit, so you can make out a decent amount of detail. And you get another picture of that, which turns out that drawing top view of cars, it's not easy.
Yes, again, for people at home, you can see this, but Julian will describe it in photorealistic detail for all of you
Sure thing.
listeners.
We've got a 4x2 grid of cars, so 4 across and 2 down. They are coloured, and they are coloured in order left to right, blue, black, white, red. And then the second row is white. The next one, there's not a car there. There's a number, what looks like a number 0, and then green, and then black. Now, on the front of each of these cars are some kind of symbol, perhaps a letter, perhaps a shape. And again, order left to right, they are the letter I, what looks like an upside down anchor, a ST squiggle, a circle with a down arrow. We've got an X on the white car. We've got 2 kind of overlapping squares with an overlapping rectangle. And the final black car has a tennis ball or baseball kind of shape.
Symbols, cars, colours.
Colour, symbols, cars. All right.
Colours, symbols, cars, 6. It's all coming together.
It's all coming together. Ruben, does anything like jump out at you?
Not yet, but you would. It's the type of thing where you would hope we're going to find something else that's really going to tie it all together. But,
I think and like to hope so too. Things I quickly note is maybe the orientation. Some of the things are kind of pointing down, but otherwise, nope. They're hopefully working cars. None of these are our cars, are they? We didn't park back there with our broken down engine.
Your car is about 3 streets away, broken down.
Ah, poor us.
And the 0 is quite interesting in the blank space.
That's right. Position number kind of 6.
Line 2, position 2.
That's right.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, that is like the parking space number painted on the ground.
That's right. Number 0, though, would be an odd choice, I'd say.
A little bit. That's why no one liked it. No one parked there.
Okay.
While we're standing here, Ruben, are you happy for us to go look at the door we're trying to get into, which perhaps we could have done first and find it's unlocked and made this whole thing a roundabout process?
Yeah, that's where the real escape room is.
That's right.
Yeah, no wonder you found this one such a normal hotel room.
Friends, can we please have a look at the door in the southeast hand corner where we're trying to get into?
This door has no features at all, except for its handle and the keyhole underneath. You bend down and try to look through the keyhole, but you see nothing. You press your ear against the door and hear nothing. Whoever or whatever's in there, it's just sort of lurking right now. Or sleeping, whatever. Although, ooh, hang on, what's that? There's a sliver of white on the floor, just barely sticking out from under the door.
I'm pulling on it, mate. I'm giving it a yank. I'm seeing what that's about.
You pull at it, and there's resistance. You pull a bit harder, and it comes out. But the bottom has some torn parts, torn by what looks like claws. Ugh. And, worse, maybe, or at least more frustrating, the paper is completely blank.
A blank sheet of clawed up, torn paper. Okay.
That is very interesting.
Is this the breakthrough you were looking for?
Oh, absolutely. It all makes sense now.
Danny, did you forget to put puzzles in this room?
This room is feeling very puzzle-light.
Is there anything on the ceiling? The fan, a light?
Presumably, at least one of those things exists, but not in
That
any
weird
interesting
stuff
way.
they spray on the ceiling that when you touch it, it kind of falls off in tiny little disgusting bits?
Are you tall enough to touch hotel ceilings?
I used to have a bunk bed that touched the hotel ceiling.
There you go.
Well, no, but I'll put that in a future room.
Right. This is quite interesting, Julian. So
It is. And just looking around the room in general, is there anything else, kind of any bits of stuff on the carpets? What do the carpets and the floor look like? Anything else loitering around?
Upsettingly cheap, but beyond that, no. You might have taken the cursory glance at everything already. Good job, very efficient. Now you got to figure out what warrants more inspection.
We're not stuck in this room, though, right? Is there
No,
anything about
absolutely
the
not.
staff-only door we could look at?
You know what? That's a very good point. You can go straight out into the hallway. This staff-only door across from yours, it's definitely a bit more heavy-duty than the room doors, although it is locked with just a standard key lock.
Can we have a look down the corridors? Anything of note in either direction, particularly towards room 223 or where it would be?
You walk towards that area and it is just a blank section of wall. Again, you like press your ear up, but you guess the wall is thick enough there that it's not going to give you any information. It's very much like from this perspective, that room doesn't exist.
Interesting.
Ruben, do we have enough clues to try to have a crack at this safe? Do we have some numbers here?
I don't think we have enough for the safe just now. The TV I find intriguing with that hotel menu. Can we investigate more the menu, the hotel menu?
You flick the TV back to that hotel help menu channel. It's not very helpful. In fact, you think that they may have accidentally left some placeholder text here instead of finishing the job. So you can take a look at that.
Yes, again, for people at home, you can see this image in the show notes, but Ruben will describe this TV menu.
It's a light blue screen with some really fancy cursive writing at the top to say welcome. And then there is a series of lines below that of text. The first one says the local area and has a plus in a circle next to that. The next one says the amenities with a plus and a circle next to that. The next one we have sample text here, very imaginative, with a minus symbol in a circle next to that. And the sample text here continues for all the rest of the three. But the symbols on the left go, so from the top we had a plus, a minus, a plus, and an equals. That is very interesting.
I think we're going to go turn these into some numbers and let's get mathsing. Can we just make sure if we check the menus in the other direction? Because you said if you go up or down, you end up on this slide. Does it end up being the same?
You press down and it takes you back to the same crime procedural.
Very good. And if we go down again, it goes back to the hotel menu, is what you said previously?
Those are the only channels that you have available.
It's an identical menu.
I reckon let's hit up this folder, Ruben. Let's find out what the local area is, see if there's any kind of number associated with that or page number there.
Yeah.
You mean on the TV, like open up the
can we
area
interact with it?
You click on that and it tries to take you to a next page. This one is even worse. It is literally a lorem ipsum page. They haven't put in anything.
Okay. Is that the same for the amenities?
It is indeed. And then the others, they haven't even got pages ascribed to them. This is the worst menu that you've ever experienced.
Can we grab, please, the folder that's sitting on the bedside table and have a look if it's got a section called local area or amenities?
Pretty much everything in it is local area and amenities of some types or another. Their indexing is a little more specific than that, like about the different industries that a person in the area might want, things like that. Just the local area. Besides a rough map of the area probably at the start, there isn't anything that broad on its own page.
Interesting. One thing I note is that there are 6 things on that menu and we had 6 chocolates, but I'm not sure how I would relate those two to each other, but there is the number 6.
So we've got 2 pluses, 1 minus, 2 pluses. And if we compare that to our chocolates, we've got half, full, half. Oh, what could we do here?
Because the equals at the end would seem to indicate that when if we do something, the equals will give us the answer for something. And so you almost want 5 things that you put together to make an equals. Sample text here it's very useful information.
Local. Okay, so if we had half plus a half plus a full minus a half plus a half.
You're laughing as you go, but this is a very reasonable idea.
Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that could equal a half. A local. All right, what can we do with these? We've got
half plus a half, we said.
Yep.
Minus a whole.
Yep.
Would be 0, right?
Yep.
Plus a half. Plus another whole is 1.5. Equals a half. That's where I'm still struggling to think that there are 6 things that really there's only 5 things plus an answer on the welcome text.
Yeah, or it's saying that if we do this, you end up with that result.
And clicking on them takes us to gibberish.
Yep. Clearly useless subpages.
I think the point of this is to get those equations. All right, let's have a look at our chocolates again.
And there's the little pink little writing on the chocolates. I'm not sure how that's going to help us, but just noting that it's there. I'm still wondering if there's other stuff in the room we haven't looked at in enough detail yet. Are there things on the table we should look at in more detail, like the kettle or the tea bag?
No, they are as expected.
All right, how do we add chocolates? Have you
How do you
ever
add chocolates
in your life?
I know how to eat chocolates. I'm not so sure about adding them.
You take a mental screenshot of the chocolates as they currently are, and then you eat them to see if it helps. It doesn't, but it fills you up a little bit.
Yeah, let's keep meandering, my friend.
We looked out the window. Are there curtains?
There is a very thin curtain, but again, it's there because it has to be, not because it's interesting. Like so many things.
We've looked at the TV. We've looked at the dining table, the cupboard, the ironing board.
It seems to be, as far as you can tell, nothing about it looks like it would be an unfunctional ironing board.
I'm not sure how I could tell because I've never actually looked at an ironing board, but I'll take your word for it.
Can we strip the bed a little bit? We are clutching at straws here, my friends.
No,
can we just
you're doing
anything?
fine. The reason I'm not helping more is because you're doing everything so efficiently.
Great. No, that's fine. We're going to have a quick look at this under this beautiful floral quilt.
Wish I could give you more exceptional stuff. There's a note that says you can do it, but it disintegrates as soon as you pick it up, indicating that it was.
We're going to not sleep well tonight.
It may have been a feature of your subconscious. You're not sure.
The safe, is the safe like a portable safe? Like, can we look on top of it, behind it, around it?
You can shove it around a little bit. It's a bit heavy to start carrying it around the room with you. You probably won't add it to your inventory. But no, the floor, the wall behind it, all depressingly normal.
Ruben, what do we do with this toilet of ours? What do you think we do?
Yeah, so hang on. Oh, the doy. It's a half flush, a half flush, a full flush, a half flush, a full flush, a half flush.
Yeah, it is, mate. That's exactly what it is. That is precisely what it is. It's almost like they did this on purpose. Do you wanna just waste water, Ruben?
I would absolutely love to. So I go over to the toilet and I do a half flush, a half flush, a full flush, a half flush, a full flush, and then a half flush.
You watch all of those 60s and 120s going down the S-bend. That's what toilets have. It doesn't have any notable effect. The toilet, as far as you can tell, is just a toilet. But you feel good about yourself all the same. You feel like you're cluing into stuff here.
All right. So now we just treat it as the 60 and the 120.
So what if so let's go back to these numbers, and instead of doing half and full, let's add 120s and 60s together.
So 60 plus 60 minus 120 gets us back to 0.
Yep. Plus a half is 60.
Yeah.
Plus the
120.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just to confirm, it'll be 60 plus 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Ruben, I think we start with 1 and then we insert the equations in between. So it doesn't match perfect. 1 to 1, but it goes in between. So I think it'll be 60 plus 60 plus 120 equals 240. Then minus
you did 2 pluses, yep.
Is 180, plus a full is 300, plus a half is 360 is what I got.
I'll take your engineering mind.
Why don't we pretend that that's right and go and just smash it into a safe, We press hash, we type it in, we press hash.
No, we push the number and then star hash.
Weren't you listening?
Number star hash. We're definitely doing it that way.
It's a perfectly standard safe. You enter 360 into the cupboard safe. The little light on it flashes red. You're wrong. Oh my god, you swear you interpreted that correctly. Okay, there must be something more to it. There must be something else going on. But, you really good about that. You are pretty sure that you got that correct.
Maybe we'll just check our maths for this
Nope,
one.
your maths was perfect.
Okay.
You feel great about what you just did. It just must be there's something you don't know.
Sure thing.
And now you are back to the limbo of what was there left to look at?
But we got a number in our back pocket, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Hey, Ruben, what are we going to look at? Where do your eyes want to go towards, mate?
Yeah, maybe you're over it. Maybe room 223 isn't that important.
Oh no, we are getting in, my friend. I'm going to find this scratched paper. Let's have a look at this paper again. Is anything on there?
Yeah, all you can see is it's just like a rectangle of paper, but in the bottom there's two deep scratch marks.
I'm holding the paper up to the light. I want to see if there's anything going on there.
It doesn't give you anything.
Okay. Can we go watch some more crime TV?
Ooh, the crime TV.
Let's go and watch. We're going to take a break from the puzzle to watch some telly.
Can we lie on the bed while we do that?
You
Yeah.
certainly
Recline.
can.
This is a bit of a break for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
You're at least going to pretend for the moment like you don't care about room 223.
That's
You
right.
flip the channel away from the awful menu to the crime show. You take it in. The acting isn't great. The script has a lot of ham, but you can see the bits where they tried.
I'm glad you started that before I could jump in and say, oh, maybe it's an episode of New Matlock featuring friend of the show, Jason Ritter. You're like, no, the acting's terrible. All right, well, I guess it's something else.
What did you say it was when we playtested?
I cannot remember.
Something British.
Oh, I went on a whole thing about Taggart because I was trying to remember what Taggart was. And during the playtest, there was like a 15-minute Googling of Taggart break to be like, what is that? Why do I know the name Taggart? It's just a Scottish crime show that ran forever.
Well, anyway, the current scene has the forensics people talking about how some of the substances that they're messing around with, like some acids and alcohols and urine, will show up if you put a coloured stain over an area and then add a lot of heat. Well, you've heard of heat making invisible ink show, so maybe they've done at least a cursory online search. Oh well. After a while, you get over it. You're not that invested. The killer's obviously the real estate agent, so you turn it off.
Real estate agents are dodgy.
I feel pretty good about what our next moves could be.
Lead the way.
Put some of the tea. We can make a cup of tea and we'll try and add it to this paper and then get the iron out. Is that the plan, Julian?
Oh, I was just going to put it on top of the tea, let it steam through. But the iron, do we have an iron or just an ironing board?
No,
We've
you've got the
both,
iron.
I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, we got both. I did not note that. We'll start with the put it on the cup edition, but I'm ready with the iron as well.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
If the crime show's done its research, a bit of a long shot normally, but hey, you don't see why this wouldn't work. So you flatten out the paper as best you can on the dining table, rush to the bathroom to fill the kettle from the sink. You fill it up, set it to boil, get the iron set up to start heating as well, and after a few minutes you make yourself a plain, not too strong cup of tea. You don't want too much colour to it. Now, you do this carefully so you don't completely soak the paper and disintegrate it. Take the tea bag out, let it drip, and each drip stains the paper just the faintest brown, and you move around until you've covered the whole page. So you have a wet beige blank note. Still like to take it to the ironing board?
Let's give it a cheeky little iron. I like my notes smooth, starched, and flat.
You peel that slightly wet paper off the dining table, you bring it over, and very gently you run the iron over it a couple of times. Or you hope you're not destroying it. And look at that. Something is showing up under the heat. You should have an image.
I'm loving that this room is literally a hotel room and our approach is watch TV and have a cuppa. That is my dream escaping.
Lovely. For people at home, you can see this image. I think it might be Julian's turn. If not, then feel free to correct me. But Julian, would you like to describe this for the people at home?
We have a matrix of letters. It is 7 across by 3 down. Looks a little bit crosswordy because there are some blank squares. From left to right, it says IMA blank, SEA. Second line, TN blank, GN blank T. And the bottom row is blank, HEICHA. Ruben, what's jumping out at you? Oh, sorry, just below that, we can see there's a little bit more. There's the scratches, but there's also a thing to note that's giving us perhaps some instructions. We have two squares above and below each other, looks like a swapping symbol with a tick, and it looks like squares next to each other. A swapping symbol looks like no. So maybe we can do some up and down swapsies, but not some left and right swapsies.
Yeah, indeed. That's very curious. The swapping and the missing spaces.
So what's jumping out at you immediately? Anything?
Yeah, I can't see anything straight off the bat, but just trying to think about how we could swap over some letters up and down to make something. But I'm not sure what would be guiding us to do that.
So if we're just having a look at it, at the moment it reads, I'm a C, T, N, blah, blah, blah. But if we swap to the, let's say, M and the N, it says in a C, in a seat, unusual spaces. But if we swap the S and the N, because we're allowed to do that, it could say in a neat or in a net, perhaps. In a net.
But why would we only swap some of them? Why would we swap some of the letters but not all of the letters? That's my question. How does it relate to the gaps?
Yeah, no, I'm just making that bit up.
Yeah. I can see if you swap the T down below to the gap,
yeah,
you'd make a the down the bottom, which seems useful at sometimes.
Yeah,
But there just needs to be a consistent methodology of swapping things. Otherwise, we're just doing it at random.
Yep. So we can swap up and down by the looks. So, but not left and right.
And do you think that the swap means you go from the top row to the bottom row, or just up one row as well instead? Curious.
If we're just allowed to claim letters from each from the rows, you know, you said before, the can be a useful word.
Uh-huh.
The first three letters could be the, T-H-E, because they are in the same rows.
Yeah, column by column, the letters of the word the are all in the same column as the first three.
That's right.
Spaces.
You get an in as well above that if you slid the I and the T down.
That's right. So we could end up with the, let's say, set or the net.
And then one of the blank spots could be a blank space.
Could be. And so you could slide that G and the I up.
So T-H-E. Do you think the blanks are going to stay in their spot and divvy out the words or not?
It feels like the first one could be a the. It makes sense that space would stay there.
So I think the blank. Then below that, if we use the T-H and E, then that leaves us with in.
Yeah,
we don't have any choice. So I think we can maybe just have a go at doing this.
Yeah, okay.
So
what do you want to swap? Let's go.
So let's start with the. Let's just see where that takes us.
Okay.
So we've got the blank, then we've got a three-letter word. That three-letter word could be net or set.
Yeah,
or the C or the char, if we're talking about tea.
And are we just getting the information from that just one line per thing?
I think so. If we did the set or a three-letter word, we can come back to that one. Then the next row would be IN space because we've not used the I and the N yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then our next two letters could be in A.
Yeah, the last one on the second line is clearly a single letter word.
That's right. So it could be the something in is A, the something in is A, and then that would leave us at the bottom level with a blank.
Yep.
And M, A, G, mag. It's going to say magnet. It's going to say the something is a magnet. It's going to be a magnet.
Something is a magnet. What is a magnet?
Oh,
so if we take out those letters.
Okay,
Just cross out those ones. Yeah.
MAGNET. So it's not set. No, it's definitely not set. It'll be CHA. Did I do that right?
Chain. The chain is a magnet.
Chain is a magnet.
There's no space between the first and second lines.
They were cheeky.
Yes.
Ruben, good work, friend. Let's go grab that chain.
What chain are we talking about, sorry?
Oh,
Talking
you
about-
know the chain, my friend.
The chain on the
chain.
inside door. But what are we...
You take another look at that chain. The chain itself is shiny silver, but the rounded end that does the locking, a bit more of a dull grey, and the whole thing is a little bit longer than you might expect. Now, the back end is fixed to the door by a single flathead screw. So you pick up the head and move it around a little, but if it is a magnet, you don't have a great way of testing it right now.
Yeah, we'll go get a fork and see if it is.
I don't know how magnetic normal forks are.
It's an
They are
aluminium
metal.
fork. It's a wooden fork.
They're metal, but that doesn't always work. Let's say it works, I guess.
So we got
Yes,
a magnet on the chain stuck to the door,
Yeah, little.
Can we just screw it off with the knife?
or the key.
Oh, you know what? The knife is the exact right size to get this thing out. So you take it over to the door, wedge the top of it, and because of the slight magnetic effect, it actually sits in perfectly, like a good screwdriver does. And you can unscrew it. Not perfect, but it's good enough. The screw loosens, the chain comes off the door, and you technically haven't broken it.
So we have a magnet at the end of a chain. Is that right?
Exactly.
Ooh, I think that bath shower could be somewhere we could dangle a magnet on the end of a chain.
Mate, I love magneting stuff. Like nothing will stop me. I'll magnet everything. Don't worry. But yes, let's start in the bathroom.
All right, you head over back to the bath shower, and you wanted to, what was that, dip it?
Let's magnet drain. Let's do drain magnets.
Careful not to drop it. You lower the chain down the drain of the bathtub. You wiggle it, get a bit of sway going, tapping the sides as it drops. And you actually feel yourself with this long chain hit the bottom. Like the whole thing is actually even blocked off down there. As you hit the bottom, you also hear a very faint clink. And you pull it up. Maybe it's your imagination, but it feels like there's a touch more weight at the end. So you pull it all the way out. And there is a key stuck to the end of your chain.
Ruben, just killing it. So feeling good. That's the vibe. That's the vibe in the room. That's the vibe.
Absolutely.
Do we go sleep for 8 hours, do you reckon? Or do we do something more bold than that?
I think we could take a chance and
Yeah.
maybe try and use the key on the pillow.
Oh.
The old pillow key.
The classic. No, we'll go to room 223 and we'll try the key there.
Yes, please.
You try the key in the keyhole to room 223. It doesn't quite fit.
Oh.
Didn't think so, but
No, me neither.
had to try.
You always got to try. What are you doing with this key of ours? This key? How about we go back to the staff room?
Ooh, yes, indeed.
You go back out there. This time, the key fits. Peering around to make sure there's no one around watching you, you swing the door open just enough to slip through. You're in a stairwell, with stairs only leading down. Okay, not exactly a staff room, nor a normal fire staircase that you'd expect to connect to every floor. And yet, when you follow the stairs down, you find yourself at an unlocked door that leads straight to the staff car park.
We're hanging out in the car park.
Huh.
Mm.
Well, I guess that's a way down and out without letting Leonard at the front desk know that you're snooping.
Oh, we are snooping. Don't worry about that. Okay.
So we can investigate these cars more closely now?
You can. But, to the best of your knowledge, now that you're down here, you take a skim of those cars. They've all got tinted windows, so you can't see inside them. Those symbols that were on the backs of them, if they were a bit small from your room, you can see them a bit more clearly now, but I think you managed just fine. You have spectacular eyesight. So the cars look about the same. Just
What
clearer.
is under the cars? I want to know if there's numbers hidden under the cars we cannot see.
You know what? That's very reasonable. You duck down and you peer at the shadowy asphalt to see if there's anything under the cars. Absolutely. There are numbers under every single one of these cars.
What be those numbers?
As seen from your window, the top row has the numbers 1, 3, 2, and 4, respectively. And the bottom row has 7, then the 0, as you already know, and then 5, and then 5 again. Oh, it looked so much like they were going to be just chronological numbers.
Hey, Ruben,
Yeah.
What do these numbers mean?
That would be really useful to understand, I would say.
I think so too.
And there's 2 5s.
A couple of 5s. Number 0 there. There's something going on with these numbers. This is non-standard numbering.
We still haven't opened the safe.
That's true.
Tantalizing you.
Have we seen in the room anything that is this colourful? Like you mentioned the floral patterns. They're not rocking the same greens and blues and reds as we can see here?
Doesn't seem like it's a particular match, no.
Okay.
And there's nothing about the symbols that necessarily correlates with the numbers. It looks like if we could find those symbols somewhere else, that would help us with numbers.
I don't want to do a lot of stairs, but maybe if we head back up the stairs and try to find those symbols, maybe in that big fat folder of ours. Do you want to have a go at doing that?
We can try.
I'm doing stairs. Sorry, we're getting our cardio in.
It's okay. You drank the tea, so you've had a minor caffeine rush.
This is good.
And the chocolate as well. You're feeling great about this.
Also, Rulian is a ultra marathon runner.
Yeah, this is
I don't know
definitely
if you
leg
knew
day.
that about Rulian.
Level 2.
Yeah, you need your sleep tonight because if you can't fix your engine, you're going to carry your car back home tomorrow. All right, you head back upstairs. You open up this tourist guide again. What in the index do you think could possibly be a page that might find these symbols, just so that you don't have to go through 500 pages? Is there any particular topic that you think could lead you there?
So is there anything about the symbols that we think relates to a particular
We got
idea?
we got a sports ball one. We've got a kind of anchor. Oh, what are we looking for?
Yeah, you've got all these symbols on the cars.
It's a kind of ST. What do you think that symbol is, Ruben? Any idea?
No, I was trying to look at it upside down to see if that made any sort of difference to us.
I think in the playtest I described it as a crucifix running away from something.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Absolutely, as
I
crucifix.
think that was Station 12.
Can we just have a look, like go to page 13 or 24 or
Yeah,
70 or 55?
Weirdly, all of those pages are restaurants.
Really?
It's not that
Just
helpful.
a sheer coincidence.
Yeah,
I found all the restaurant pages.
they are restaurant pages. We did on the screen see that there was local attractions, and I don't know if that's useful. I don't think it is.
Oh, yeah, like if you wanted something more specific like that, like if you said, all right, I'm new to this area, I really want a theme park, then there might be a theme parks page. So it's just,
Sure.
yeah, it's...
We're
Yeah, it's
going
a
to
lot
need
of-
some more.
Yeah, it's a lot of
precision.
relevant information for people who are traveling, who are new to an area, who've turned up at a hotel. Just it's that sort of stuff, right? It's for visitors.
So that the numbers will give us an answer to something, but we need something that tells us what order is or what is relevant about the cars to tell us what the numbers are. The information we have is colours.
Correct. So we have 2 white in spots 7 and 2, or 2 and 7. We have 2 black cars in spots 3 and 5. A red, a blue, and a green in the other spots.
We could look up specific stuff if we knew what we're looking for in this tourist
Yeah.
guide.
Is there a section on cars?
I mean, it is a guide for people new to the area.
Can we
You
look
do
at the
quick look.
car dealers?
There's a rental car
Hire
section.
car,
Yes, thank you.
rental
Yep.
cars.
There is a page all about the different rental car things that you might find in this area.
That makes sense.
You find a full double-page spread on some of the options. And hey, you may have to make use of one of these if you can't fix your own car in the morning.
For people at home, you can have a look at that in the show notes. But Ruben, would you like to describe what you're seeing?
Rightio, this is great. So we've got a big text in the middle, which says rental cars in this area. And then all around the outside, we have various different symbols, which seem to match up very well with the symbols that we've got on the cars. And so in the top left, we've got crucifix running away,
Yes.
which is Alfalfa Romeo. In the middle, we've got our tennis ball, which is Boyota. The top right, our I is a Hondo. Our 2 squares with a rectangle joining them on the right-hand side is Laudi. We've got the circle with the arrow pointing down as Valvo. Sorry.
Valvo.
Yeah.
Much
And
more
then
car-y.
We've got the anchor, which is shown here upside down again is SCADA. And then the big X is a Chevrolet.
This is a non-IP infringing podcast.
Thank
I
you.
like that.
What do you mean? They're all real.
Content.
I just
I
know a lot
like
more about
this
cars than most
A
people.
lot. Can I say, whoever came up with Alfalfa Romeo, mwah, this is a good moment. This is a good moment in our life.
So we've got the numbers and we have the cars. So what does that tell us?
Well, if we put them in order, we have a Honda.
Mm-hmm.
A
We
what,
have
sorry?
A Hondo, sorry. I'll
makes
clear my
sense.
throat.
Now I
Oh, did I
understand.
misspeak? Did I? Oh, that was awkward. A Hondo. We have a SCADA. We have our Alfalfa Romeo. And we finish on the top with our Valvo. Is it about the letters?
Yeah, it could be the letters of each of those. So what's that's got 7 letters? 1, 2, 3. Yes, it does. So that helps us. So we could go with the number letter from each car that's relevant. So that would be a H. The third one from SCADA would be an A. The second one from the Alfalfa would be an L. And the next one is going to be a V. Correct? And then T.
And then what was that one?
I'm feeling less confident. The T on the Chevrolet.
The Chevrolet, you mean?
Chevrolet, I apologise.
Oh, we
again.
keep
It's an E.
misspeaking.
It's an E on the Chevrolet. And then there's a gap, and it's going to tell us half of something. And the 5 of the Audi, that's a I. And then finally, the 5th of the Toyota, halve it. So do you want to take our 360 and double it?
Wait, hold on a second.
Now, I didn't check your work there, so because you were too fast for my brain. It's spelt out when you take that letter of each of those words, Harvard. Is that right?
Harvard, not half with an F,
Halve it.
but with a V.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well done, my friend. Well done. Should we take our number and go chuck it in a safe?
Let's do it.
What number are we putting in?
180.
Star hash.
Hash.
You type in 180 star hash, and the safe light goes green.
Yes.
You are ready to get a key to room 223. You're ready to see what Leonard is hiding. You are... What is that? What? There's no key in here. There's cups. There's stacks and stacks of little cups. You pick one up, baffled, finding it lighter than expected, and the bottom falls off. Like, the round ceramic base of the cup hits the floor and cracks in half. Well, that's shoddy. You look inside the cup. There's still a bottom. The cup has 2 bottoms. You put it down and you try one of the others. All of the others, they're all the same. Each of these cups is empty, but each one has a false bottom that falls right up when you lift it.
Well, that was fun. We tried. Why don't we go look at our other cup? You know, the one that we filled with tea? Has it got a false bottom?
Yeah, you chug the rest of the tea just so that you
Yeah.
can see. The inside looks normal. It doesn't feel as light as the one in the safe. There is something odd about the bottom of it when you turn it upside down. Has it been glued on?
Can we give it a bit of a push? And
Cheeky pry?
You try, you get in your fingernails, you try to get in the knife, but that glue, it's definitely a bit too firm. You might have to be left with some more drastic action.
Are we risking our bond deposit on a cup? We've already broken one, to confirm.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
they were already broken.
so just to confirm, we could take one of the other cups out and leave it when we leave, and maybe if this one broke, put that back in the safe, and no one has to be one of the wiser.
No.
Ruben, can we break a cup?
I think we might need to.
We're breaking a cup, my friends. We are going to.
It's starting
gently,
to feel like your
carefully-
duty.
Smash
We're going
it.
to carefully do this. We don't need shards on the floor.
But I have so many lines of description about shards. You lay down your paper that you have already used. You put the cup down on top of it, and then you jump on it. And the whole thing cracks, but it stays very sensibly in place, and you'll be able to fold it all up nicely afterwards.
Thank you.
But sure enough, when you step away, you see something amongst the ceramic rubble. Leonard must be buying false bottom cups and hiding things in them and then replacing them with a new one from the safe every time he retrieves the hidden thing. Oh. Well, you do indeed find a key that was hidden in your cup.
Rueben, this feels good.
It does. And I know that false bottom cups make the rockin' world go by. So let's do it.
Can we have a crack, please, at trying that key into the perhaps door to room 223?
This key fits. Are you ready for this?
I'm nervous, I'll be honest.
I want to say, I've playtested this room. I don't know what's in room 223. I want to find out.
I always cut off the playtests before we get to the ending.
What is
Let's
it?
do it.
While holding a kettle, please.
Makes sense. The door connecting you to room 223 unlocks. There's no sound coming in from in there right now. And a cloud outside drifts in front of the moon, leaving you draped in shadow.
Okay.
Just to be atmospheric. Nothing to do now but open this door. And immediately, something lunges at you. It's a tangle of feet and fur. You feel claws, a brief wash of hot breath, scratching, scrabbling, huffing, bouncing. What? What was that last one?
Bouncing?
It's all happened at once, and room 223 is so dark you haven't been able to take a second to process everything before scrambling in reaction to it, but you force yourself to freeze, ignoring the thing attacking you, the thing ambushing you. You actually look at it, because if it's bouncing to reach you, it can't possibly be as big as it felt. Is that a wallaby?
All right.
And further into the room, there are two more just watching you from the bed. This one attacking you is trying to scratch its way up you like you're a flesh ladder. It's getting all up in your pajamas. Look, it's not like getting mauled by a bear exactly, but it's still not exactly comfortable. It seems to be trying extra hard to slash at your pockets. You don't want to hurt it, so you have to awkwardly stick your leg up to shield yourself from it. What is happening here? Okay, unlike your room, room 223 has a phone on its bedside table. So you head towards it. Oh no, now the other two have stood up and they're coming for you. Okay, you try to fend off three attacking wallabies? And you call the reception desk. And Leonard picks up quite quickly. Hello, how can I help you? Oh. His voice catches, and you're pretty sure his phone has a display that tells him what room a call's coming from. Because next thing you know, he's knocking feverishly at your door. And as soon as you let him in, he goes, look, I can explain. Look, it's the Superstorm. These guys, I don't know if you know what they are, but they are severely endangered swamp wallabies. The state forest, decimated, flood, landslide, it's a wreck. I'm a biology student. I have to do fieldwork down there all the time. The wallaby population is really helpless against stuff like this. They're hanging on by a thread, man. Room 223, it's not a real room. We usually leave 221 free for staff, so I thought, there aren't that many staff working tonight if nobody noticed. But so many people are looking for rooms in town, and there's no vacancy. The optics would be really bad. If people knew about this, it'd look like I didn't care about people as much as animals, which is, well, legally I'm not allowed to say that. But legally we're also not allowed to fit any more people, so I'm not taking a room away from any people. I'm not really doing anything wrong. And I let you in. The three wallabies are getting all up in your business. They're still climbing on you, and they're climbing on Leonard too. And now you realize it's because Leonard has some grass stashed in his pockets and they're digging for food.
Aw, what a cuties.
Yeah, and their claws they're not that long, really. But Leonard bites his lip. Seriously, I can't let them loose or they'll die. And they're really not allowed to be in here. We will get in so much trouble. I'll do whatever you want if you keep quiet.
Yay.
I mean, we're calling the cops, right?
This is delightful. I like wallabies. I like Leonard. I think it's going to be a night to remember.
Yeah, some escape rooms end with a moral quandary. This isn't one of those escape rooms. This is really easy.
Chill with Leonard.
Animals are great. Humans couldn't use that room. Oh, no, corporate policy. So you go to sleep that night in room 221. well, the combined rooms 221 and 223. Door wide open. Wallabies coming and going between their side and yours as they please, and occasionally sleeping at your legs.
What a joy. I like room 221. What a good night.
Congratulations.
Woo.
Well done,
Cool.
friend.
Thanks for listening to Escape This Podcast. Stay tuned for next week's episode where we discuss the escape room we just did with the guest we just had. This podcast is kept afloat by crowdfunding, so if you enjoy the show, why not support it on Patreon? There's weekly bonus audio for our $5 donors, monthly videos for our $10 donors, monthly trivia for our $20 donors, and anyone at any level can appear as an NPC in one of the rooms that Danny designs. And thanks again for listening.